Shalom, shalom aleichem, everyone. This is about, there are many Jewish guys. They actually, they are not respectful to all the people. Why they're not respectful to all the people? Even though the Torah says very clear, you have to respect actually people that are older than, especially not just also Torah, also in the other places that you can see in the Tanakh when you get older. But many Jewish young guys do not respect other people. Once they're older, I'm talking general, I say they don't respect actually to some born Jewish actually born Jewish, supposedly because they're born Jewish between parentheses. Of course, less they're gonna respect converts unless converts actually got some kind of position of power. Also, there are also the people, for example, they are non-Jewish, but they had to act like they respect them because they don't. Most non-Jewish don't like because many reasons of it. They hate Jewish people. One of the reasons of it because they're exclusive, because it's like some kind of club. They don't want people actually. Most Jewish people, not all, but most Jewish people, they don't like actually poor people. They're not Jewish people. They got at least if they're poor, at least with social class, like a cop. A cop is not a rich person, but it got power position, position of power. So you got power. So that's the reason why many people non-Jewish they hate actually Jewish people, unfortunately. But that's why in the street they act they try not to talk much and act humble between parentheses. But part of the Jewish people they're not like that, unfortunately. They're just very arrogant. Why they're very arrogant? I'm not saying that I'm saying like it's some kind of stereotype. I'm saying that there are people like that and they have to change because but following the Torah is not easy. They using the easy stuff. The easy stuff actually call actually the ceremony. Like for example, using the seed and the tefillin, the easy stuff because that's stuff that you put on top of your body. It's about using the moral commandment to relate to the heart and the mind, especially the heart. Like for example, not to be such a pervert, deciding somebody's woman. For example, be honest with people, especially people that actually that and also in business. You gotta be honest and so like that. But this basic stuff, there are much more moral commandments. But these ones, most Jewish people do not follow it because, especially fanatic Talmudic people. Why? Because they believe because they do. I eat this. I have this actually on top of me. That's what it is. Easy stuff. So I'm a holy person. When that's a lie and crap and blasphemy. Because actually, the stuff you use actually like for example like when you pray the talit they succeed because you're not supposed to use it when you got regular clothing. The four edges of the four corners. When you use this seed and when you use actually a tefillin, when you get to, unless you're sick or anything happens, that's the only moment that is. One time I happened with my eyesight, but big time, I couldn't even use the talit. That's how bad I was actually. I'm sensitive with my eyes, with pain. So you're not supposed to, normally you're not gonna use it because you're sick or anything like that. But there's people that like to use personal stuff outside they think they're holy, and that's why they don't follow moral commandments. Many Jewish people, especially Talmudic people, they're fanatic Talmudic people. Let's put it like a different way, like Orthodox and conservative. And unfortunately, God, they don't care about nobody but themselves. But why? Because that's what believe that they're beating the same stuff. So this guy from the Zoom, one time he make a comment because he's one of those. He said that he used the feeling the whole time. Well, that's a lie. Because many Orthodox I have met, they don't use the feeling the whole time. They're lying. They do that to make believe. Especially young people. And this guy, he's 21 years old, lying to people actually because he's saying that because he wants to show a position of power in the Orthodox. So that's reasonable. He even tried to buy expensive stuff, like for example, a scroll expensive to have position of power and being on top of the people. Also to try to be Nazarene because Nazarene is probably much holier. So that's he's trying to be maybe I'm gonna be a Nazarene, not to call his heir between parentheses, because he's power hunger. So I can say so. Then after that, think about that's why he want to connect with people with power, also the internet. And this person said one time, "Oh, I use it to feel like I'm so kind of ignorant. I know the Tanakh and the Torah much more than he does. Many times I study much more than he does. Since the 80s. So anyway, I'm 48 years old. So man, how many times I have read it? So he said that even to sleep, he used literally. He never say, "Oh, I'm saying this sarcastically or playing around." Only one go to the bathroom, especially to take a shower. I don't use the tefillin. He said that then after that one time, he was asking me something respectful, something easy to do. Because, for example, when I used to be non-Jewish practicing, I used to be practicing Pentecostal religion. I used to pray 5 to 10 times in the day, not 3 times, 5 to 10 times a day. But in their religion, something that they teach really good. You know what they teach really good? Because it doesn't matter how much you pray the whole day. You know, for the moral commandments, for example, like be humble, not lie to people, different stuff like that, is useless. Praying the whole day. You can pray the whole day and bleed from your knees. It's meaningless. But fortunately, many Jewish people believe that you do external stuff, like you're praying many times, you got the CC in your body, and you got the tefillin in your body, you're a holy person. So that's why they get much more loveless. Even in the coming era, many Jewish people, they are loveless, especially the Pharisees. They were loveless in that time. They didn't care about the poor people in that time. And of course, those people that were Jewish because they were in Israel. If they were living in another country, it would be even worse. Because they would not care even the Jewish people, non-Jewish, unless they got money and power, unfortunately. So by saying that, so this guy, one time he mentioned it, something, or he told me, oh yeah, but to do a smicha, something I'm gonna do a program, I know about different programs, I know about the smicha program, so like that before he does, or before he did. Even this guy Asher showing a link, already know about the link in the Zoom. So this guy, he said, I'm told he made a comment. That's why smicha is respectful, highly respectful. He's trying to make it not respectful, but it was respectful. He said, yeah, but you not actually pray 2 times in the day, and you don't tefillin. That's what people that do the stuff like that. That's what it is. What? That's a super kindergarten stuff that I'm not saying on the 80s. Plus, a Jewish person, I do that more than that. I do much more than those stuff. You know more commandments. You not even do that. I don't even believe this guy do tefillin at all whatsoever. And so because he's make a disrespectful comment, because that's baby stuff. I have been doing that even was Messianic Jewish. I used to do actually the Tali, the Sixth. The only thing I was not doing tefillin only. That would be it. I'm praying much more than 3 times in a day. Hello. This guy is because ceremonies, he thinks he's holy, but he lying and respecting people. You are not a Jewish person. Follow Torah. Follow Torah, follow more commandments. You are just a bamboo tree. You are just a person, just a coffin from the, you want to put it like that, a coffin. Outside you look nice, but inside you are crap inside. It doesn't make you Jewish. Talk nice and you succeed. You tefillin do not make you Jewish. If you follow the moral commandments. Like, for example, be humble with people. Do not try in any way manipulate people, no manipulations. Because actually, that's not being honest. That's power of being, when you are a dishonest person, manipulation, though. And then try to talk like insulting people that say, no, but for do smicha, you have to do that, you do that. So indirectly, you send the person Jewish, you don't follow that. I know the subliminal stuff. I have talked about subliminal messages. I studied about body language. So I know about body language. When the people insulting somebody with body language, I know people in subliminal languages actually indirect stuff to people. Also, I studied a little bit NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. When these people actually, they do manipulation through messages, indirect messages to people. And also do manipulation. That's something common Jewish people do. Not just Jewish people, but also make it right. Stop manipulating people. Stop lying to people. Stop being arrogant. Please, follow the Torah. Follow the moral commandments. That's follow the Torah. Anything else is just actually to show you, to follow, is to remember the moral commandments. It is not, it does not make you holy. That's why many Jewish people, they're not holy people, because there are people from the outside, people that succeed, you tefillin, and they're not holy. Holy means moral commandments. Be honest. Help people that are not Jewish, because the fellow people you're supposed to help is called humans. That's your fellow neighbor, your human neighbor. People like you, humans. It's not people that follow your religion, also another humans. Stop that. And I said to this guy, sarcastically, especially 140 years old, though, to the same time, 48 years old plus, that's the stupid stuff. I know him in the 80s when I was a teenager. So this guy told me about playing around sarcastically. I use a tefillin actually because he respected me actually saying that I use a tefillin. I almost called slander, lying, destroying people's images with lies. Do you see me not 24 hours, 7 days? Do you see me every day? Stop lying. I know you don't use Tefillin every day. You're lying to yourself. You're a liar. Williams from Ashishum. He's a host actually from the Ashishum. He got prominence over there because he got money. His family got money and power. Because his family got connection with other Jewish people in the community. Also because he's white skin. Because he's white skin, he got actually connection with the regular white people in the area. Also, he doesn't know about surviving by himself because he lived with his family, and then after that, he's actually living with all the Jewish people handouts. So that's why he got what he had. So Williams, for this guy, I'm gonna say sarcastically, very obvious, because even though if I was not even Jewish, that is something very stupid to say. I mean, I said sarcastically to this guy, yes, I use the tefillin. I use it even when I sleep. Never say when I take a shower though, just in case. Even when I sleep, what? There's no such thing. He was laughing. You are. This is funny. You are. And I say, you know something? Where I got it from? Being sarcastic. I got it from you because you say in the Zoom after Asher left from the Zoom that you the tefillin even, and he never said he was playing around. Even when he sleeps, to many people believe that he uses tefillin when he's a liar. He does not use the tefillin every day. He may be using once in a while, but he's lying. But he's making a statement like that. He's making the people believe that he uses tefillin, but he doesn't use tefillin. Because the person that actually tefillin in reality, the true people, they say as much as I can. You know why? Because they can have problems, like you can have an accident, like for example, you can be, for example, sick, you can be with other different problems, or anything like that. Or you're gonna be working, or you're gonna be working 9 Shabbat, but the whole day in a place. And when you are working with non-Jewish, people don't got no privilege because he got white skin, plus to the same time he lives in the Jewish community because he doesn't know by surviving by himself. He's not a real man because he never been by himself. He get help from the Jewish community, especially even Jaron Reuben. He said that on a stick, USB, or lessons, he follows Reuben. And he's in the ashes. That's funny thing that is. And actually give him privilege over there. So Jaron Reuben gave him a stick that cost $300. And Jaron Reuben asked him if he was a convert or he was born Jewish. Yes, he did. And you know what he said? Yes, I'm born Jewish. And he gave him the $300 because that's what he said, William, that's how much it cost. The stick of the lessons. You know what he said? Okay, he gave it to me for free. William said he got it for free from Jerusalem because he born Jewish. Plus he's white skin, of course. So he got privilege. So he got a lot of handouts from Jewish people. And then he doesn't reject the handouts, but he doesn't like to help people that are Jewish converts and people that are not Jewish. He likes to get help, free stuff from Jewish people and have money in the family. Even though the people that are rich, they still got money. They're still getting free stuff from people that I met in person. And he's one of those. And this guy is a liar, arrogant, and a freeloader. But he doesn't like to help other people. So he likes to progress himself, but he doesn't like to see other people to progress. That's the kind of people, you have to see the people down to be somebody. That's his mentality. That's when I was in the actual Zoom. He's one of the top people that he put me out on the Zoom with lies about me and saying racist comments about me. This guy, why? Because he doesn't like people they're actually Jewish. They have the skin tone that I have. And I say people, for example, because he say, because he appears, he get privilege as a white person. I never said that I want privilege as a white person. My grandparents, they were white Europeans, and they asked me about that, about my background. And I said that that's not being racist because number one, is you asking me about my racial background. Then after that, you are making the same question one more time. You are the one who's racist because you are asking the same question. Then after that, you don't like it. You hate it. You want to hear something else. Or he from Latin America and he comes from a boat, or he came from the border of Mexico, or he came from Latin America. That's what these white skin pale people want to hear. Many white skin Caucasians, I cannot say because they are convert people, they are not really born Jewish. Not all of them, but many they are racist. And like Williams, he's a racist person. And also you are socially people that got power and position of power besides Usher. And sometimes he make comments against what I should actually teach, because I heard them after the Zoom, not just him, also the people. So, for example, they believe him that actually was divine, that actually Talmud was divine. He was giving in the Mount Sinai. He believed that. He believed it had the same value as the Torah giving God in person giving to Moshe, because actually God giving the Torah, he said not to take it away. So it's possible to give another book to be the same way as the Torah. When you put a book actually the same way as the Torah, that's blasphemy and sacrilege. That's heresy. So that's what heresy. But these people believe that. So actually, we also believe that. But at the same time, he got a lot of privilege and get free stuff from people, especially Jewish people, and he works for Jewish people like nothing though. He can get just like that. So he's very racist. Of course, he got it from actually when the people came from Germany, because they gave him proof. Some of the Jewish people, they were not actually naming born Jewish people. Some of they were German soldiers. They know Yiddish. Then after that, they wanted to appear as a Jewish, so they can escape from Jewish people. They even to this day, probably some of the Jewish people, they come from German soldiers and they don't even know about it. They even make a documentary about that anyway. So anyway, Toda Rabba, please be in a place that actually you can hear the true Torah and you're being accepted regardless how you are, and not make emphasis about race, but about the word of the Lord. Because the only thing that I talk about is race, it's just a little bit, but to the same time, because it's necessary, because it's talking against racist stuff, because that people see discriminating worse in the 50s. They do it by practice and talking indirect to people, racist stuff, like they do in the Zoom, or actually Zoom. Unfortunately, not actually, but they follow the actually they do. To the same time, there are people that actually by practice. For example, I have seen people being stabbed in congregation. They are not white skin much more than one time. When the people that are white skin, they are you Jewish? Then they let them go. And the people that ask for much more than Jewish, the one white skin. What is that? That's not racist. Your actions say that it's actually racist. And that's what they do actually, these white skin congregations. So we gotta make, for example, I'm making the amendment for people all the colors. We want to have Jewish people from not just from Europe, but also from Asia. So if you want to be part of the community, to be actually Jewish, follow the Torah, because the true Jewish people, they follow the Torah. They were supposed to be. These people, they follow actually the stuff from the pool on top of the body, not the real Torah. There's actually more commandments, because what they use actually, you don't got love to people, because you say you have to actually serve to the fellow, actually to your neighbor. Talk about human, not just actually your Jewish people only, but to the same time being with everybody. That's the reason why Christianity it became so powerful, because the Jewish people, they want to make a club. Actually, the Pharisees, the real Jewish people from that time, to the Jewish people from today's day, they don't come from the real Hebrew Jewish people. They are using the same belief system, being just few and have the best of us, and not to share the good stuff for the people. Only petty charity, like a free lunch. It doesn't work that way. Unfortunately, I can say the Torah is the Tanakh. Teach actually the Torah is not just for one group, but for everybody. It was given a small group before, because that's what it was, a small group, but to teach it to everybody. Just like it is pagan Christian that teaching actually about love to everybody and to have the same God. God did the same thing. We actually, in the Tanakh, especially the Torah. Why? Because they want to be the Torah keepers, to be the priests of the whole planet, to be the prototype, because that's why Jewish people, they have to be not in ceremony, but in actions, by moral commandments, be much holier than anybody else. That's why it has to be prototype. They are not even close to Christians. Even they are Christians that are much holier than Jewish people. That's the sad thing that is. You have to be holier than anybody else, but how holier? By showing out that you're holier? No, that's arrogant. No, but follow more commandment. Be humble. Be actually not being a pervert with, like for example, not committing adultery. Try not to actually do sex before marriage. If you do, I repent to the Lord with all your heart and you will be forgiven. You don't need sacrifices for that. That's only the pagan beliefs actually being sacrifices actually for forgiveness. And that's all it is. But at the same time, you can't do the other stuff. God give you the succeed, but you can't do it succeed all the time. You can't, for example, actually the tefillin all the time. So the same thing when you break the rule, they do that every time. The Jewish people, being honest, be actually not such perversion like it look like lust, etc. So you have forgiveness, right? And you get forgiven, and you still walking, right? Okay, you do the same thing. You know tefillin, you have forgiveness, and you keep walking. The only difference that is when you the feeling is to remind you of the moral commandments. So when you do moral commandments, you have to give much more emphasis, and that emphasis is by try most as possible not to do again the same mistake. Follow it and know the same mistake. The commanding of the tefillin, try to do it because to remember actually the emphasis or to follow the moral commandments. So now, when you do much more emphasis to the succeed, that's when you get a problem because the stuff that make you holy, the moral commandments, you're gonna be a lack of it. So you're not gonna be doing it, and you're barely gonna be doing. So you're gonna be some kind of religious monster because you're gonna be like talking a little nice to people, smiling them, but to a certain you're gonna be hating people. They are not the same belief. They're the people that don't look like you, people that actually they are different from you. So this is the lesson of it. Please, thank you. Toda Rabah to everyone. Lehi Chad.